Hey y'all, it's your girl Kelly J, and I'm straight from the D. Ain't nobody in my section going harder than me. Ain't no waiting for the top, cause I'm steady climbing the tree. Pleasant Grove to Oak Cliff, yeah, you know where we be. This is my show, and I got it under control. Podcast to interviews, yeah, we doing it all. Got the tea for whoever, ain't no lifting involved. So when you got it poppin', girl, you know who to call. I'm the realest of the real, I'm just stating the facts. I got it out the mud and I put the team on the back. Try to tell me I could never, so I did it and laughed. You know it's my turn, yeah. Killer J on the map, y'all. What up, y'all? What up, y'all? What up, y'all? It's your girl Kelly J, and we back. We are back. We are back with another episode of Kelly J TV, you guys. And today, oh y'all, wait a minute. Oh, 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 we got them from different names. All right, today, you guys, we have HR Guru Amariah. And child, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I've been saying her name wrong since I met her. I call her Raya. She gonna correct me and tell y'all what her real name is. But since I done met this young lady, I call her twin and I call her Raya. Y'all already know your girl Kelly J is bad with names, so we not even gonna act like this is brand new, something we just started today or yesterday. Y'all know I'm bad with names. But today we have my good friend coming to share with you guys some tips on how to really get into the corporate America world and succeed, you guys. So many of y'all have been saying, oh, I need a job. Oh, I need a job. Oh, I need a job. But then y'all going for these interviews and then y'all not getting them. And then you sitting back talking about, oh, why did I not get this job? What happened? Well, was your 5 minutes late or was your 5 minutes early? Was your resume on point or did your resume look like it needed a little extra help? Well, you guys, today with Miss Raya, she gonna be able to tell all you guys exactly how to succeed. Oh yeah, my hair is doing the most today. She's gonna tell y'all how to succeed and be able to get that dream job that you're looking for and how to execute the whole process. And then you guys, on August the 14th from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., she is doing a free. I don't think y'all did they hear me? Did y'all hear me? Let me see. She doing a free resume workshop. Now, some of y'all need y'all resumes done. Some of y'all trying to figure out if your resume right. Listen, I know people who pay $400 for resumes to get them done. Okay, she offering y'all an opportunity to have it looked at for free, going over and all of that. But we gonna get more into that once she get up here, you guys. But y'all, without further ado, I'm gonna bring her up. Hey, welcome to Kelly J TV.
Thank you so much for having me. And first things first, I would tell anyone this, always make sure someone gets your name right. My name is Amariah Dixon.
And you know, I've been calling you Raya since I met you.
And this is for everyone who's tuning in. My name is Amariah, or Raya if you're Kelly and you can't pronounce it, but that's okay. I definitely want to say thank you so much, Kelly, for allowing me to be on your podcast. But more importantly, hyping up the fact that I'm a guru when I'm not. I'm just here trying to help people be the best that they
But
can.
we not first off, we not even gonna act like you not out here giving the tips and like I done feel like I done learned a couple of things just off of your Facebook post. I'm like, wait a minute. I should try this if I should ever go back into corporate America. So I feel as though you are a guru. Like to me, everybody has. I call you that because number one, we've talked on resume writing alone, and not just that, but watching your post, the way you tell people how they should execute it and to go about it. You don't have too many people like that. So to me, yes, honey, you a guru, and you need to own it and just take it and just start adding that to your name up top. Just Miss Guru. There you go.
Thank you so much. I love hearing that. And thank you so much for mentioning those tips that I give. I'll be doing them once a week, typically on Wednesday. And I'm literally just doing this because no one else has. So why not help people where I can? So, just a little bit about me, you all, for those who are joining. I am a HR generalist currently for a hospital in Houston. Prior to that, I worked in training and development at a college. Prior to that, I was an office manager, so I have lots of management experience. I have training and development experience, more importantly, HR experience, and that's what I'm here to talk to you all about today. So let's jump right in it. Just you all an overview. We're going to go over choosing the right job today. What are you looking for? Creating a resume. We're going to go over the initial phone call. We're going to go over the interview, questions to ask, and the offer. So please feel free to chat, write any questions you may have, and we will make sure we get to them. I'm ready and willing to help. So let's go over choosing the right job really quick. So here's some questions you need to ask yourself. What natural skills do I possess? For myself, I know that selling and planning and being detail oriented and writing are all things that I'm naturally good at. I love doing those things. But then, you have your natural skills, but you have to think about, okay, so what are my soft skills? Stuff you need to ask yourself prior to just applying for any kind of job. A soft skill for me is confidence, time management, problem solving. Those are my soft skills, and I really enjoy problem solving and being creative. Now, the third thing, especially in this climate, you have to ask yourself is how tech savvy are you? For me, I'm really great when it comes to spreadsheets. I love doing research. I love projects. Being in HR, you have to love research down to the gristle of the issue and then be able to solve it. So those are things you need to ask yourself when you're thinking of, what do I want to do? So once you figure out what it is you're ready to do, figure out what are you looking for? And what I mean by that are here's some things I would ask before I would apply for a job. So just to backtrack really quickly, I worked up until May of this year, and then I went on a leave from my former job. I went on an FMLA leave, and I just needed some time to myself. But I had a plan, but I didn't know how to execute the plan, and I didn't know who can I ask. Let me just ask the person I trust the most, myself. It's very important to trust yourself. But I was like, so what am I going to do? So what I ended up doing was I applied for between 800 jobs in a 3.5 to 4 week time span. In order to do that, you have to make 9 a.m. till 7 to 8, Monday through Sunday for those 3.5 to 4 weeks. I'm finding a job, my job. It's what I had to do because how else will I be able to sustain if I don't have a source of income, right? So that's what I had to do. So this goes back to the question I just posed of what am I looking for? So for me, what I was looking for is do I need to work from home? Because in my past job, I was working from home for since December of 2019 for a long time. I had to think about, since I was working from home, am I open to drive a distance? Being in HR, you have to be able to handle hostility, but something you all should ask yourselves is, can I handle a hostile work environment? Or what would I do if one was to come about? What if I have to travel? That's a question. Maybe you have a job where you have to travel. Am I okay with missing out on friends and family time? So at my past job, I was working extraneous hours and I missed out on a lot. I did. With my current job, thankfully, I'm not missing a beat. I may miss a text or call here, Kelly, but I'm not missing too much of a beat. But those I know I opened up Pandora's box with that one, but those are questions
Yeah.
you're going to want to ask yourself. So,
So let me ask you this.
oh, sure.
Why are those questions so important? Like most times you hear people say, "Oh, I just want a job. I just need a job." But I've never really thought about the job I'm going for. How much time is it going to take away from my family and friends? What I was looking at was what was my pay, what was going to be my hours. That like those are the things I looked at, not my outside world first. Like, how is this job going to affect my outside world? So while those types of questions, I mean, honestly, those are really good questions. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that's it's fantastic.
So you just posed a really great question on why is this woman even making me think about those questions? Why
Like
am
really, because now I'm really like sitting here thinking like all the jobs I done went for, I probably wouldn't have went for them if I really had to know my schedule, like what I wanted with my life, how I wanted to have free time, rather than be locked in an office for umpteen hours a day, not doing nothing. So you really just got me to thinking about my past life. I mean, now I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm really contemplating like I wasted a lot of time.
I
Jesus.
understand. You're not the first person to say that to me. So, Kelly, it's really great that you asked that because maybe the viewers wanted to know. But one of the reasons why it's important to ask yourself that question or to really consider it is what's the quickest way to get yourself out of a job is when you become miserable. So, you become miserable when it is hostile, when it's
Mm-hmm.
high pressure. That's why sales is not for everyone. This is why HR is not for everyone. I have people who come to me with complaints every day, all day, and you have to have a calm and collective attitude. So, what if there's a day where it's not my best day? Guess what? I still got to handle that hostile situation. But more importantly, it's about your mental state. And one of the things that a lot of people don't take into account, Kelly, is am I going to be able to mentally handle this job? No one ever thinks about that.
At all.
Never.
At all.
And you have to sit there and think, okay, if this job is overnight, yeah, it's great. It's $15 an hour, but I'm going to sleep all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to have
Then I'm
time
gonna
for
miss
my
out
kids.
and
Right. If you have kids, you want to have time for your kids. If you have a
mm-hmm.
dog, now your dog has to adhere to your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
If you're someone who likes to go out a lot, you're going to be cutting back.
That's over with.
You're working. Yes. And you need to think,
That's
okay, so what
completely
are my
over with
off
at that
days
point.
going to be? And, how can I still have fun? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's important. It's all for your mental and to make sure you don't end up miserable. But thank you so much for asking. So now that we talked about choosing the right job, Kelly, and what we're looking for, let's talk about creating a resume. Like
Okay.
Kelly mentioned, I will be holding a resume workshop. It's 100% free. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on August 14th. Feel free to go ahead and send me a Facebook message, or I will go ahead and drop my email here in the chat for you if you'd like to attend. I'll be sending out the link via Zoom. I'm sorry, via email. It'll be a Zoom link. So that is next Saturday. And I know you're like, Saturday, that's my day to have fun. But get a little bit of, work in there, just a little bit. I'm only taking an hour of your time. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
let's briefly go over creating a resume. So in my resume workshop, I'm going to be very detailed, but just to give you all some quick tips on that, first things first, please, please, please check the grammar. Word has it to where it offers, you're shaking your head like, ooh, that's such a serious one. You've seen grammatical errors, haven't you?
First off, nothing gets me more when I'm looking at a resume because I told you I've created fixed up resumes and stuff. Nothing bothers me more than incorrect punctuation and grammar. Simple words like where or I mean we've learned these or there, you know.
There, and there gets people every time.
Google is people's best friend if they didn't know that. Like if you didn't know which there to use or which where to use or
Mhm.
I think people forget to use and something I learned when I started really getting into resume writing was the expressive words and how important
Mhm.
those are. You provided, you assisted. Um, those types of words are things that really stick out and say, hey, this is something I've done. So, yeah, grammar is definitely not my favorite in resumes. Continue.
Correct. And collectively, everyone has to do their part and do better. And I'm so happy you brought that up too, that you yourself have knowledge on seeing, grammatically error-filled resumes. So, in addition to grammar checks, you need to make sure you're providing proper and professional information.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure this is where a lot of people lose the opportunity to land a job is their resume, but this particular part. So one of the things that I was doing, because I was changing my resume so much when I was applying for those 800 plus jobs, is I was looking at a company's mission statement and I was making sure my objective summary, whatever you have at the top, is going to reflect that mission statement. Or I'm going to make sure I mention that mission statement, and we'll talk about that in a second. One of the things about your resume you want to remember is data equals more money. If you have data on there, like an example of that is I increased revenue by 15% in the first quarter from 2015 to 2016. That's going to be great. When I was an office manager, I spoke on how I increased revenue by 10% in less than 6 months.
That's
So that's
great.
something, yes, it is. And it was just by simple marketing and advertising skills. But
That's
that's something you really want to make sure you point out. And then last but not least, when it comes to creating a resume, make it make sense.
mm,
I know, Kelly, I'm sure you've seen people's resume where the date is out of order
not
or
just date. Date. What is the date, and then also what's out of order is how they. So the position of the job.
chronological order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not in there we go, not in order. But then the dates also, not just dates, but they don't always put the date of when they started and finished.
Mhm.
They don't always put the location. Now let me ask you this, because I do put the location of where the job was located at, whether it was remote,
Mhm.
even if I just put the state, I at least put the state of where it is. How important is it to employers for just that little simple piece of information to be on resumes?
That's a really good question. And I'm happy you brought that up. Honestly, if I'm just put number one, please don't put the address of your workplace. It's just going to take up
Right,
space for your resume, which should be one
right.
page, by the way. But honestly, just putting the city, comma, state. You all have to make sure you are adding your commas, but the city, comma, state, that's really important. And especially during the pandemic, work from home jobs have become of the essence. So you want to make sure you are indicating that because companies look for that. But that was a really good question, Kelly. So if we move on from creating a resume, let's get down to the grit of it all, the initial phone call. So I don't know if you all know, but initial phone calls are fairly new, maybe in the last 10 years or so. As technology and people's time increases, everybody's looking to cut time. How can we do this? An initial phone call. So first things first is make sure you have a pen and paper, pull up the notes on your phone. You're going to need to write everything down, especially details and names. Names and name repetition are going to get you so far, and we'll talk about that in a second. But one of the things, Kelly, me, when I'm like calling, doing recruiting, or when I was rather, if I called you and you were like, who's this? That's the first thing you say. I'm already turned off.
Off, yeah.
It's that professional. So if Kelly calls me and it's an unknown number, you all, I'm going to answer the phone how I always answer for unknown numbers. Hi, this is Amariah.
Mhm.
That's it. Hi, this is Amariah. And you're probably saying, well, I get a lot of bill collectors or whoever calling me. So what? Hit the block button after. You
Exactly.
have to answer the phone, but in a professional manner. You cannot have any background noise or distractions.
Mhm.
Nothing is worse than me calling you for the first initial call and I hear
Mhm.
Kelly in the background screaming, talking about her show, or I just hear, just noise. Now, if it's a
Mhm.
dog barking, okay. If it's a
Yeah.
child, okay. But something controllable like loud music, no.
Mhm.
Really make sure you're positive and upbeat on these phone calls. I know it's not front facing, but people can detect when you're just like, yeah,
Yeah,
I guess I'm interested. What do
yeah,
you mean you guess? You just applied for the job.
exactly.
You don't ever want to say, this is something that a lot of people slip on. So this goes back to writing everything down. Don't ever say, who is this again? What company is this? The question that I hate hearing the most, and so do recruiters and hiring managers, is this one. What did I apply for?
How do you not know? How do you not know? Now, wait.
No,
No,
no, no.
look,
Don't try
I
to
was fixing to try to
justify
help the
it.
people. I was really fixing to try to help them and be like, oh, well, maybe they applied for a lot of positions. But if you doing that, then that means you really just don't know what you want to do, and you just trying to get a job very quickly. And that's what that's letting them know, is that I have applied for multiple positions with multiple companies with different job titles. Like for myself, I know all I'm gonna do is customer service. I know
Mhm.
that. Call center. If I ever decided to go back to corporate America, customer service, corporate world, customer, like I said, customer service, data entry, all of them are still within the customer service realm. So when they call now, if the title of the position is a little bit more in depth, then okay, I can ask at that point. But if I know for a fact this is customer service within data entry, blah, 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 I shouldn't even be asking that question. But you do have some people. I've heard it. Like I've been out and I've heard them on the phone say, and what position did I apply for? And I look, I'm like, how did you not know what position you yourself applied for? But then again, maybe that's why McDonald's workers are the way they are, and they always upset. They didn't know they was applying for McDonald's.
Oh my
That's what
God.
I'm gonna go with.
Okay. Shout out to people who do work at McDonald's and fast
Yes,
food because I could
shout
not do
out.
that job.
I could never do that job. I'm proud of them. I love them. Every time I go to McDonald's and get me a sweet tea, I appreciate them oh so very much. That's not my calling. I just wish they were a lot nicer, like the people at Chick-fil-A who don't mind making my fries hot every time I order. But that's another topic of discussion. Keep going.
So, getting back on track to the initial phone call, just a little bit more on this. Oh my gosh, y'all, be knowledgeable on your resume. I have
Yes.
had people who I've talked about their resume with on the initial phone call, and they'll say, "Oh, I put that." Yeah, you did. It's your resume. Didn't you work here? State a few facts about the job if you have any off the top of your head, or let's say you don't have any off the top of your head. State your interests. So, what I mean by state your interests is going to be this. When I was getting just back to back calls for jobs, I would always say, "Oh my gosh, this is Methodist. I am so excited about being able to, interview with you all and a chance to work for the company because you're leading in the healthcare field." Something very basic like that lets you know I'm interested. Let's talk about one question before we move on because we only have a short amount of time, 30 minutes. But let's talk about this question. Is it okay to ask about the pay on the initial phone call? Absolutely yes. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it. So what I mean by that is I don't like when people bluntly just, so how much do you pay? That's all I'm really care about.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not enough for your attitude. No, I'm seriously though. How you can tastefully ask about the pay is, could you remind me what was the salary again?
Okay, that is because I'm not gonna lie. I'll ask. Could you inform me of what the pay was again? I mean, it's still the same, but I'll ask in a way because yeah, that's the way I'll ask. Can you tell me about the pay?
If you replace pay with salary, I promise there's a little bit more elegance
I
to it.
like the word salary. It sounds so much better.
Just could you remind me of the salary again?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it wasn't even on the site, but that's gonna now put them in the corner of, oh man, I gotta let her know the salary. So let's move on to the interview while we have a few minutes. So I cannot stress enough. I don't want to see you in jeans. I don't want to see you in wrinkled clothes. I don't want to see you in a low cut top. I don't want to see you in anything other than some slacks and a button down or just a nice collared shirt. Ladies, if you're on here, your nails
Don't let them look like Kelly J's.
pretty. They can be pretty like Kelly J's, but they need to be trimmed, nude, or a basic color. Keep the designs minimal. Really quick, let's touch on hair. So I will share this with you all. As you know, as a Black woman, I like what's known as crochet braids. What's in my hair currently right now. I am the first to say I will wear my braids in a professional setting. However, I won't do it for an interview, and only because you will be profiled. It's happened to me before. I know that I was going to get a job, but when they saw me on camera, I had braids, and they did not like that. It was very clear. The woman had said, "Oh, what an interesting hairstyle you have," and I was like, "Okay, here we go." So that is something you want to consider. I'm all for your natural hair. I'm all for your colorful hair. But before we can get to that, let's just make sure that we just get the job first. So one of the things I said I was going to bring up again was repeating the interviewer's name. It's very important you repeat it because that lets me know, A, Kelly, you remembered how to pronounce my name. And and B,
I
it's
mean, I don't
catching
else
my
tell him to call
attention.
you Raya.
It's catching my attention whenever you're using my name. And it sounds so good hearing someone say, well, Kelly, this is why I believe I'll be a great access. And Kelly, now let's say you're like, oh, her name was Amira, but wait, her last name was Dixon. So Miss Dixon, this is why I'm a good asset. Feel free to use those last names. So this one's more importantly, as it's happening now with technology. If this is a video interview, guys, please make sure your connection prior. Professional still, neat background, not like how mine is. I have a lot going on right now. Yours needs to be professional. I cannot stress enough, confidence is key. Be very confident in your answers, speak on past experiences, and always provide facts. What I mean by facts, let's hear those statistics. Let's hear those numbers. Now, Kelly, really briefly, I do want to go over what questions should I ask as the interviewee in an interview. If you all want, you can jot down. These are the 4 questions I always make sure I ask in
I
an
got my
interview.
pen and paper ready
Good.
because as I start hiring people, they're going to get hit with these 4 questions.
Please do. Question number 1 is, what is the culture like? This is really important to ask because it's going to give you an idea for diversity inclusion. It's going to give you an idea for how that interviewer is viewing the culture from that point of view. And if you're doing a dual interview, it's going to give you it from both sides. And that's typically a good question to ask because you're going to get just catching someone off guard and they're going to think like, oh my God, what is our culture like? And they're going to give you the real. Second question is very important to ask. How has the business grown during COVID?
That is like really, people are asking that as Uber, like, so I'm contracted with Uber and Lyft. People are asking me that same question. Like today, I don't know, I guess it was like ask us questions day because everybody was, so how long you been driving for Uber and Lyft? And, what made you want to do it? I really felt like I was in a whole interview in my car today
Yeah.
because I was having to ask some questions from people and they were just like, so how has it like, and they asked, that was a next question. How has the pandemic affected you as a driver? It didn't, I mean, I'm a driver. People got to go somewhere.
Right.
I'll forever be working because y'all got to go somewhere. So I thank all of y'all who book us. I thank all of y'all who book Kelly J Transportation because without you guys not wanting to catch COVID, wouldn't be me. Shout out to y'all.
We'll wait on that discount code too.
Gotcha.
Another question to ask is, a third question is, how can I grow at the company? Because that's letting them know, oh, this person is trying to be here a long time, longevity. And last question, Kelly, that someone should be asking you when you start hiring, what benefits does the company offer? I just really quick, you all, I had accepted a previous job offer with a airline, a very prestigious one, but I actually decided to go with the hospital I work at now solely based off it was a bit more pay. But it was solely based off the benefits. Tuition reimbursement is super important to me. Their
Mhm.
vision, vision is typically cheap, but their vision benefits, it's like $300 off my next pair of glasses. And I was like, wow, that was important to me. Their PTO, they have a program called TAFW, which means that if something happens to me, like I get sick or something and I don't have PTO, I can actually utilize that. My company has a fund set up to where employees can have a little bit taken out of their paycheck to help employees who need assistance. And the company
That's good.
also, right. So, one more thing, and then we're going to wrap up questions to ask. It doesn't hurt to say, hey, Kelly, so I was researching the company and I read in an article that you all just got a new CEO. Can you tell me about him?
Hmm. That
How long?
means you researched them. You
Exactly
researched the
right.
company. You wanted to know more about the company, and that really does wow them.
It does. Like it always, whenever I mention that to someone, they're always caught off guard and they're like, oh my gosh, you did your
Mhm.
research? And
Even as
you're
an
like,
entrepreneur, I get like that when people
yeah,
tell me that want to work with me. They're like, "Oh, I researched you. I know what you do." I'm like, "What?
I
You
watched your
researched me?
videos.
Like you really did Google your girl? Okay, let's all right, let's work then." It
I
makes me feel good.
know. It does make you feel good because it's letting you know someone cares.
Hmm.
And you may be sitting here watching this stream and you may be like, oh my gosh, like I don't have time for that. 5 minutes before your call, 5 minutes before your interview, literally type in the name of the company or the person, pick an
Hmm.
article, pick
Hmm.
2 or 3 questions and keep it moving. That's
Boom,
literally it.
boom,
You
and
don't have
it's
to be like me.
5 minutes.
Literally 5 minutes. Just do that and you're going to be golden. And okay, Kelly, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up with the offer. So let's talk about the offer real quick.
All
So
right.
this actually came up recently from a lady. She asked me about salary negotiations. I will be doing a segment on that via
Okay.
Zoom. But just to let you all know, negotiate your salary if you're not happy, but be prepared to walk away. So
Hmm.
if someone's saying, if I'm saying, Kelly, I want $17, but Kelly is like, well, the going average is 15.50, and that's what I can give you. You have two options. You can say, well, can you meet me in the middle, Kelly, at $16? Kelly might
Hmm.
say, okay, that's 50 cents more. Or you would take the road of, Kelly, you know what? I appreciate so much interviewing with you and getting to know more about your company.
Hmm.
However, that doesn't meet my cost of living. I have
Hmm.
expenses. Kelly at that point is going to say, oh my gosh, I'm really sorry to hear that. Or Kelly's going to say, you know what? Let's bump you up to 17.
Hmm. And it
Uh,
can go either way.
it can go, but that's why you have to be prepared to walk away if it's not what you want. Don't settle for I cannot stress enough, y'all. Do not settle for a lower pay because you hate
Don't.
your job. It's not going to be beneficial. Whenever it comes down to the offer and they're telling you the offer, you need to make sure you are ready, available to start working. If they tell you, hey, how long are you going to need? Standard, you all, is 14 days. That is 14 regular days. But more recently, I will say on the interviewer side, me interviewing people, I've seen it being cut down to 10. Now, here's the thing with that. If you tell me I'll quit my job right now for yours, I feel a little bit uneasy because where was your loyalty?
Right.
Even if you're miserable in that job, take that time off to just
Hmm.
relax. Even okay, and if you're like, well, I can't afford to miss work, then tough it out for those 14 days. But it is never good to say I can start tomorrow.
Hmm.
Why? That lets me know either A, you don't really have the job and I need to make sure I'm doing employment verification at your
Hmm.
current job, or B, you don't have loyalty. Um, One of the most important questions to ask whenever you are getting your offer is, Kelly, what are the next steps?
Yep. Yep.
Kelly, who's my recruiter going to be or who's my hiring manager?
And also, oh, I got one.
Go ahead.
Because I got one. When will I hear back from you guys?
That is a great question. When am I going to hear back?
Yes.
That is really, really, really good. And
Now,
oh, go
if
ahead.
you're talking on resumes,
Mhm.
how important is it after your interview? And tell me if I'm jumping ahead. How
Mhm.
important is it for you to write a thank you letter after you've had your interview with them, just thanking them for the interview, and sending it? How important is that? I do it regardless. In any resumes that I've done for someone, I actually include that into their package and tell them, hey,
Mhm.
update this part, and send it to them. But from someone who's in HR, how important is that to the employer with them getting that thank you letter after the interview?
That's a good question. Me personally, it doesn't make me want to hire you any more or any less. For
Okay.
some older I will say thank you notes are becoming a thing of the past. It is
Mhm.
a nice touch to add, though. Is a thank you note, but it's not going to make me persuade. It really won't even make you stick out in my mind, honestly, because
Got it.
we're inundated with so many emails.
Hmm.
We have so much communication we have to keep up with. That's just another email for me to read, go all, and delete. Now, for some people, they really do love, a thank you note, but it doesn't. How are you really going to feel if you went through the 2 minutes to send a thank you note and you still get the thanks but no thanks?
Right.
It hurts just a little bit, not going to
It
lie.
does. It
It
hurts a lot.
does. But I will say this to make up for not sending a thank you note. What's even nicer is to call your recruiter maybe 2 days after and say, "Thank you so much, Kelly, for interviewing me, and whatnot, and pushing me through to the final interview. By the way, Kelly, any status? What's my
Hmm.
update?" That's a great time for you to go
Hmm.
ahead and say thank you. I did do that with all these hundreds of, or I'm sorry, almost hundreds of phone calls I've had, and with the 20 interviews that I did decide to do, I did say, "Hey, Kelly, thanks so much for interviewing me. Just wondering what's the update right now."
Hmm.
So you're getting your thank you out the way. I think a call is way better than a email, believe it or not.
I actually agree because it's more personable,
It is, and I took
and
time
you're
out
hearing
today.
the voice of that person. And I'm pretty sure, like you said, they're getting a bootload of emails a day, but very few calls. So if you call them, that is more impressionable.
It is, and when you call, what are you doing? You're putting me on the spot.
Hmm. Yep. And you got to be on your toes now.
You have to be 100%, especially recruiters. But Kelly, I just want to say thank you so much for having me.
I am so glad that you came on. You're able to share these job tips. I'm excited. I hope everybody who tuned in today was able to get those notes in. If y'all have any questions, feel free to text Miss Dixon. Well, not text her, but email her. You heard what I did? You heard that? You heard that?
You use
But
one of Oh my gosh, I almost said something, but we're keeping it professional.
I'll get a call after this.
I'm gonna have to send you some candy, some Pop Rocks candy. Just popping away.
Just pop it away. Well, I appreciate you. I really do appreciate you. I saw what you were doing online, and we're in Black Girls of Texas together, and I see a lot of women in there looking for jobs. And so for me, it was, if I can welcome someone who I talk to on a regular basis, who I see actually posting these tips to really help people be successful in corporate America, why not have them on my show so then more people can know more about it? Plus, with you having the free virtual workshop, I wanted so many people to know about it, because who don't love free? First off, I like free stuff, because I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably be in there just for the knowledge base of it all, because what nothing is wrong with knowledge, and a lot of people do tend to forget that. But I do appreciate you coming on here. I do appreciate you sharing all these tips. Y'all, please, please, please make sure that you follow Miss Dixon. Make sure that y'all are ready on August 14th at 9 a.m. to have your pen and paper ready. Your pen. Oh, I put up my pen. But have your pen and my paper is actually right here, y'all. But have your pen and your paper ready. I did want to point one thing out, and I did this on purpose, you guys. So, if y'all notice, Miss Dixon here is dressed all professionally. She looks like she is ready for a ready for her job interview and things like that. Me, on the other hand, you guys, I have my tattoos visible, on my chest. Understand this: not all employers are okay with that. When you go and you're someone with tattoos, wear long sleeves. They actually have makeup to cover their hand tattoos. I'm not gonna lie, I knew for a fact I wasn't gonna work for corporate America long, so I did what I wanted to do, and that's why I got tattoos. But when I did want to go and work in corporate America, I had to do the makeup on my hands and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you really want the job, go for it. But I really did dress this. Because I told you I was gonna put on a dress, and I was like, no. I was like, because I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna dress inappropriately. What it would look like to dress inappropriately for a job interview. So I don't know if y'all can see, but this actually it goes down further, but I keep pulling it up. So you don't want your cleavage showing, ladies. They don't need to see our boob area. I really did wear this shirt just so I could show y'all just an example of what not to do. So this shirt is actually not a shirt I would even wear in an interview. Anytime I've gone to an interview, I actually do wear long sleeves because of my tattoos. And that's just so that, number one, they don't see all of them right away. And then number two, it at least give them an opportunity to get to just ignore the part. Like I said, I cover my hands up. So as long as I have a long sleeve on, I'm wearing a button down or, a top that's covering up my cleavage, I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Miss Dixon, thank you so much for coming and being on my show, my podcast. I really do appreciate you. You're welcome to come back anytime for anything that I ever talk about, or if you ever just want to come and share some more knowledge on how to be successful in the corporate world.
Thank you so much for having me. The next time I come back on your show, I may not have to be Miss Dixon.
I would hope not. I hope, I could be like, yo, what up, Ryan? How you doing? You know?
Let me go. We gotta be professional.
Y'all just know, look, everybody on here know I'm goofy. So it's not like they not gonna know a show or two gonna have a little hee hee ha ha moments. Y'all know I get down like that. But we do appreciate you for coming in, and I wish you much success. You already know I will definitely be there on August the 14th with my pen and paper, trying to ask all the questions. I may be looking for some employees too during that time. So depending on who all in there, we'll see. Maybe, just maybe, I'll be wanting to hire somebody at that point. But we'll see. If y'all don't know, make sure y'all email her. It's Dixon dot her first name at gmail.com.
Okay.
At gmail.com. Listen, when you can't say somebody's name and you just don't want to jack them up, I'm just bad with it. It's not like I can't say it. I've said it. I said it earlier today. I've said it, but then I said it the other way too, and I just fix it. Oh, real quick, I do want to let you know something. Tanisha said, not knowing, because this was in regards to, I did forget Trisha. Sorry, Trisha. Trisha stated earlier when you had mentioned about not knowing what the job, could have for you, what all it entails when you're looking into a job. She was saying, or you can miss your amazing Boston trip. And Trisha, if you missed your amazing Boston trip, I am so sorry, baby.
No, she's
I'm,
talking about me missing my Boston trip to see her.
oh, dang. I'm sorry.
No, I haven't missed it yet.
Oh, are you
I
gonna
missed
miss it?
everything else but that.
Oh, well, see, that means she coming.
See, I just shaded myself. See, I can shade myself because I miss phone calls and and trips to Tennessee. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go. Thank
Yes.
you so much for having me.
Thank you guys. Heard up. Thank you once again. All right, y'all. So we have wrapped up another episode of Kelly J TV, and I am forever thankful for Miss Dixon for coming through, sharing those tidbits and tricks with us. And y'all make sure that y'all definitely hit her up so that you can be in on the free virtual resume workshop, and that you can be successful at your next job interview. Without further ado, you guys, it's your girl Kelly J, and we are out of here. Peace.